The card I'm going to be reviewing today is She Who Wanders. Is the strongest minion in terms of HP and power from the Freljord deck. You also get to use the spell, the Bale Sight, that is played by the moment you play her. It's the automatic passive that she have. This spell Obliterate, that means that the minion is completely removed from the game. Don't cause lost breaths, and they can't be revived, even with the arrowing, the spell of that revives your 6 strongest minions. All the minions that get hit by the Bale Sight are completely gone from that game. You cannot play them again, revive them, or even block the spell with barrier. Bale Sight is an absolute spell that can only be blocked by the Nice from the Ionia deck. This minion is like a spell and the minion at the same time, with such a strong passive that works as a fast spell. So when you play it, you are not playing only for the stats, even though they are good stats, but you are playing probably mainly from the spell to get rid of a lot of minions from your enemy, especially if you have a lot of small blockers. It's obviously a great way to get rid of them. This 10 cost minion is, as I said before, from Freljord. It's a minion and a spell, like I said before as well. The requirements to play it will be waiting for your enemy to play all strong spells that could automatically kill a minion. That will be Shadow Spells like Vengeance or Rasa. In that case, it will use a spell and a minion as well. Rasa can kill your 2 weakest minions. So if you're gonna play this into the possibility of a Rasa, of course be sure to have two weakest minions from this. It's not, the other part is not having minions that are weaker than her, as she has super powerful spells. Sometimes is the thing that you could at the moment that you play her, you already have almost no minions in the battlefield for some reason, that they got killed or dealt with from a spell. So also for a spell can be denied for Ionian. So if you are playing it into Ionian deck that could be still have a deny, be sure to play when the person have less than 3 mana, or you want to really bait his deny with another of your denies, of course. Okay, as for the pros and the cons, it's a Freljord unit with the strongest stats in the game. Only Tryndamere reaching closely, or if you get a lot of units to die, they who endure, that is have unlimited potential to reach the heights that is this card. They get 1/1 for each ally that has died. So if at least 10 units have died this game, they who endure get a lot more stats than this. But with the base stats, is the strongest card in the game for sure. Have a cleaning spell, not card, but yeah, it's the strongest card in the game if you are only talking about stats, exactly. Have a cleaning spell that is attached to it. It is invoked with a card that counters barriers and revives. So if they have some annoying units that always are reviving, like for example in the Shadow Isles, you got at least two good examples of it. At the 3 costs, the Undying, that every time he dies he spawned again with +1/1. Or for example, the Commander Ledros, sorry, that return to hand every time he is died. Of course, this only will counter Ledros in this specific this specific card if you could reduce him to less than 4 damage with, for example, Frostbite spell could do that. So it's a good combo if you have 10 mana and 3 spell crystals, mana crystals stacked to get rid of this guy, for example. Otherwise, will not affect this guy, of course. The cons being one of them, it costs 10 mana, so if after you play it, you get only to play 3 mana cost spells or less if you have the crystals, the mana crystals stacked. Otherwise, you will be left without any mana to counter cards that he plays, like for example a Vengeance or a Rasa, and you only have him and the other guy that, like I said before, the spell can be denied, like I said before, if you are playing against an Ionian deck. And if the enemy only have champions or followers with 4 or more power, is useless. For example, against Commander Ledros, and against any champion, even if the champion have 1 power, 0 power, it doesn't matter. It's only against followers, as we can see here. Sorry for the delay, but okay. All followers, only followers. It only affects followers, the Obliterate spell. So be in mind that only if he have followers that have less than 4, and if you really want to annihilate, obliterate some of them, you really need to play a free spell or get any other way to reduce their power that I don't remember any besides the Frostbite spell that could be used in this deck, as it is a friendly deck, of course. As for the suggestions, like I said before, I would recommend to combo it with Frostbite spell if you want to annihilate, obliterate units with more than 4 power. Of course, before playing it, you could also play the Shatter. Could also be useful if they use the Deny in this spell instead of your Obliterate one, the spell that comes with She Who Wanders. But of course, you won't be able to kill any units that have more than 4 power if they are not frostbited, of course. So another thing that I recommend will be, if you are playing against an Ionian, be careful with the spells, of course, but you could also combo with the Ionian spell, and this if they try to deny your spell, deny with another deny. The deny spell, if you want me to show it, is this one. If you could always play one in the top of another one that they play. So a Freljord and the Ionia is always a good combination. Ionia is good with almost anything, especially because of the deny spell, or at least that's my opinion, since it can block any spell of the game. Sorry, I meant any spell except burst spells. Burst spells are activated instantaneously and cannot be denied by any card. of course. Okay, as for the art, is another magnificent draw from Six More Vodka that made the majority of the drawings for this game. And it also a very interesting fact from the lore of the She Who Wanders is that she is one of the monsters that only Berg saw it. And the proof that he's in the right when she see the say the things he says. The character is this character. When you play him, you always say you gotta believe me. It was a giant covered in ice. So what he's referring is a lot of cards that we see, like She Who Wanders, for example. We have the proof that that is true for the lore of those cards. So he's not crazy as he seems. He really have seen those cards, and they are really real in the lore. And he is the only one who see it, because as we read in the lore of She Who Wanders, all his crew was eliminated by her power, probably. Like he says, I dug myself out from the rubble to find a scar seared into the land around me. Smoldering ash lay where my companions had stood, and in the distance a looming form moved on. Exactly. So he that's the mention he does to the She Who Wanders. That probably was the one who killed all his friends, obliterated them, as we read in the card. It's interesting that they connected the cards, the lore of the cards, and first, when we don't know anything from the lore, we just think he's a crazy man, and then we get proof that he is real, and even his passive is an interesting part of the lore, because he invokes a unit with more than 5 damage. So if you have any of the monsters you see on his travels, you got the possibility to invoke him and kind of prove that he's right. So I think that's a really cool tale that I wanted to point on.